Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to today's updated deck profile on Eldlich. As you guys may have seen, in the past like 3-4 days, I've tested this deck nonstop. Like I've been on stream for like 8 hours, like grinding this deck out and like perfecting like the card choices in order to get you the best possible list ever. Without further ado, we're just gonna go right into it. So I play 3 Ash, 3 DD Crow, 3 Nibiru, and 3 Imperm. These are like generic hand traps, and then the DD Crow is specific hand traps that I feel like are good in like the current format that we're entering. So like DD Crow like hurts the Salad deck, the Geist deck, and the Dragon Link deck, which I think are like the best 3 decks right now. And then if you like DD Crow on their manifestation or you DD Crow on the Mario effect, it still sends. So like they like literally go neg off that play. And it punishes greedy plays when they try to, like, for example, bring back Meluseek from the grave to get a plus on the following turn. So it punishes those greedy plays, definitely. So that's like really nice. You have to play 3 Nibiru. This card is like insane against Salad and against Dragon Link. This card is FTK against Heroes. FTK. Like this card is just so good. So yeah. You have 3 Imperm. Imperm is just generically good and it can't be called by. So like, and it's also a trap, which is really helpful because it synergizes well with Eldlich, where you can set it from hand, and then just like set a card on their side, or you can set it to Reborn. So the fact that it's a trap actually synergizes really well with Eldlich cards. Then you play quote unquote like starters. So like Dorlando is like broken. It's literally a Rhoda for the deck, so you can add any Eldlich monster or any Golden Land traps. So this is like probably one of the best cards. It's a pay 800, so it feels like really nice to like be able to do that again. From what people have been telling me, I never played when cools were really good. I know what the cards do just because I used to like play pendulums and I looked up literally every pendulum card when I got into the game. And then the second effect of Dorlando is why this card is busted. Literally, if it's sent to the graveyard for any reason, you can dump any Eldritch monster or Golden Land. So this card is literally like a Rhoda, a Foolish Burial Goods, and a Foolish Burial, and all in one. So like this card is too busted not to play. You also play 2 Magician Souls and 3 Extravagance. Like I like to think of these like from deck theory perspective as my starters. Or I would say. So I want to be able to make use of my normal summon mechanic. And I cut Apprentice Magician just because like yes, it lets you special summon souls, but like what's the point of special summoning souls? Like it doesn't really do anything for you. I'm not making any link plays or like doing anything from the special summon of souls. So I figured why not just play it as a normal summon and then use this effect to like draw. It quote unquote can conflict with Extravagance, and obviously it does, but I think the way I look at it is like you're playing you're not always gonna see Extravagance and you're not always gonna see souls. So like I think that's why like I played 2 and 3. You then play 3 black. It's basically an E-Telly that's not a quick effect for the deck. It's really good, and it on the following turn it charges you any golden lands. So you guys should like keep this in mind, like elixirs or elixirs and searches golden lands, which are these interruptions, and golden land searches elixirs. So essentially they search each other, like in the sub archetype per se. This is really important to note that like all the elixirs are essentially your ways to get to Golden Lord, and all the golden lands are forms of interruption. So in this case, I play 3 black, 1 white, and then 3 red, and those are like essentially like 6 ways to get to Eldritch, and then you have like 3 Dorlando, so you have 9 ways to get to the big boy. And also like you not considering the fact that you can also hard draw him, so there's literally 12 ways to get to like the big boy. So that's why like you want to max out on those consistency cards. White is only played at 1 just because like if you hard draw at turn 1 and you don't see a lord, it literally does nothing for you. The reason why I play it is because it's a different name for an elixir, and because it lets you dodge a call by the grave, or like a DD Crow on your Eldritch Lord when you attempt to special summon from the grave. So that's why I think the card is really good. Next, you play 3 Conquistador. Conquistadors are essentially a non-target pop on the opponent's field. It's a non-target Dryden. And essentially, this is the way to think about it. Then of course like the 3 red. Then you play 1 Garden just for the different name, and this card is a non-target attack modifier, and like you can obviously use this on damage step. So like for cards that are like really big, like you can like let's say if they make like Mega Clops for you, you're playing against Zoo, you can damage step them when they attack your like card, and then you can just like make it 0. It literally doesn't target. It literally says change attack, so that's like really broken. So all the golden lands don't target, which is why this deck is really good. So like it lets you not get outplayed in certain interactions. So like the best one I can give you is like, for example, against like Altergeist, if they activate if I activate Conquistador to like pop a card on the field and they change spoofing, because it doesn't target, I can just pop the spoofing and it doesn't resolve. So like that's why this card is like really good. The fact that it doesn't target makes it like so much better. If it did target it, then it can get outplayed by like a spoofing or like against like the Trickster deck like Lycoris. So that's why like Conquistador is like so nice. Also, another cool interaction with Conquistador and Haquero is, let's say they have a Milliseek on the board or any card that float like a Sangan. So what you can do is you can go Chainlink 1 Haquero and then Chainlink 2 Conquistador. So you would pop the card and then immediately banish it within Chainlink 1, which means Sangan or Milliseek wouldn't resolve, at least in NA. And that's like a really cool technique that you can like do, or like cool technical play you can do to make sure that cards miss or like doesn't like not activate. The other example is like, for example, against a Striker matchup, like you'll see more Striker plays now just because like Widow Anchor came to 2, so that's the reason why I bring it up. Is like if you pop the area 0 and then you banish it right away within the same chain link, all in one chain link, then it wouldn't resolve, so they don't get access to Ray that way. And of course you can always just infinitely DD Crow Ray with this, so that's broken. Then you play 2 counter traps. It comes up. Essentially what you do is once you get them to the reduced grind game state, and very simplified game state, you just search a counter trap, you need to get any card they draw, you win the game. Very simple. Then you play the best card in the deck, Eldlich the Golden Lord. This card is literally so broken. Like a good indicator of a good card is like if they have 2 effects. Like Mario has 2 effects, like you can normal summon Set and then effect to Reborn from the grave. Eldlich Lord has 2 effects, so it can send itself from the hand and 1 spell and trap for cost, and then target 1 card in the field and then sends. So non-destructible removal is like really good. And then of course like the graveyard effect is essentially it reborns itself by sending 1 spell and trap you control to the grave for cost. And so there are really cool interactions like with this card that you can do. So and I'll show you guys that in like when we get to a match coverage. Then you play the 1 of Skill Drain. I know the OCG has this as 3, and some people are questioning whether or not this deck is good with only Skill Drain and 1. I don't think people understand that like I only play 1 Floodgate in this deck and I still like destroy meta decks. And it's because like the whole point is not to like floodgate my opponent. Like that's not the type of deck I play, and like that's why I really like this deck. It's more of like controlling the game state and controlling the flow of the match. And if you can do that, you don't need floodgates for it. So I only play the 1 of Skill Drain just because if I see it, I see it. If I don't, I don't. It's kind of like that situation where like it's if I see it's like really good, kind of like Imperial Order. And so that's like the main reason why I play the 1 of Skill Drain. Like keep in mind, guys, this is not a floodgate deck at all. Like and I like decks that have interaction between 2 players. It's not like I do all these plays and I FTK you. Like that's not the point of like Yu-Gi-Oh that I'm trying to play. I'm trying to have it so that we interact. And I think control decks like this is how like I like get better as a player too. And so that's why like I really enjoy control decks. Without further ado, we'll go into the side. And the side is something that I still am theorizing. So I'm not really sure. We'll start off with 3 Spear Mode. Just because you don't have a normal summon in the deck, you just side out the souls for the Spear Mode, and then Spear Mode is just broken. So go to main phase 1, priority, tribute summon, game. And it also has good synergy with Eldritch because it's a level 10 light. So the thing with Wing Spear Mode is that it comes back to your control during the end phase of the next turn after you tribute summon. So when it comes back to you and you make the Big Lord, I'll show you a card in the extra deck you can make to OTK your opponent instantly. This deck has OTK potential too, which is why it's one of those decks that it's a control deck and OTK, and so I like that about control decks. That's why I picked up Altergeist, and that's why I'm gonna pick up Eldritch now. Then you play 3 Cosmic Cyclone. It's really good in the mirror. It's good against control decks, so that's why I play it. Lightning Storm is good against combo, and it's also good against back row. Not much to say about this. This card is just broken. Also, you set a lot of times, so you don't really have face-up cards. So that's really important because if you hard draw Lightning Storm in the late game, then you can resolve it. And Lightning Storm and Evenly, for example, they don't break because you can just send them with Eldritch if like you already have everything set up. So that's why it's really good. So of course you play a 3 Evenly match. It's just like really good overall. And you play 3 Mystic Mine. If they and this is because you only have 1 monster on the board usually at any given time. And I'll show you like the extra deck now. Like with Gustav Max and Lieb, you can just do chains to OTK. Activate Mystic Mine, make chains, OTK, game. See you later. So yeah. Now we walk into the extra deck. We'll go with the first card you have to play is Pallades. Play is just broken. If you are in a game state where you're able to resolve both Golden Lands, Haquero, and Conquistador, you can make Pallades, and it's basically a free bounce. So there's no reason not to take it. And every time you discard the material, the Golden Lands, you can then banish them at the end phase if they weren't used this turn to just set a starter, like set red, to like continue playing. So this card is like absolutely nuts. And if they do interrupt your Pallades, if they waste like a strike or anything on it, that's fine. All the materials attached to it gets sent to the graveyard, and then you plus off of that. So that's what I'm saying. Like with this deck, it literally infinitely. It doesn't infinitely grind you like Striker, because Striker can infinitely grind with like base. But this deck literally grinds you for like turn 10, and by then you're pretty much dead. Then you have to play Gustav Max. Gustav Max is broken in this deck. I mean, it helps you in time, but just because it's a control deck, and if you were to go into competitive play like this, people might read your cards because they're probably not going to play this deck or know what this deck does. So Gustav Max is nice for that instance. But it also lets you like make Leeb, and then Leeb is how you like OTK your opponent. So and Gustav Max also lets you OTK your opponent because Golden Lord 2500 stats plus a Golden Lord reborn from the grave is 3500. So 25 plus 35 is 6000, and then Gustav Max for 2k, that's 8,000. Quick math. And then Leeb can make itself 6k and attack twice because it has a Gustav Max attached under it. So yeah, that's just like that's just so broken. 6,000 attack twice. If they have one monster, it's game because you burn and attack twice. Or sometimes you don't use the effect to attack to make it to gain 2,000, and you just attack twice for 8,000 too. That works too. Just to play around Ghost Ogre. You have Nightmare Phoenix, just like a link, generic link 2 to like pop a back row. Phoenix is it just comes up randomly. One link Kuribo, and that's because you play the souls. If you draw souls going first, you can make link Kuribo. You play 2 Anima, and this is so broken because it lets you out the Nibiru token. Not that you have a problem outing it because you can just Eldritch Send, but it lets you out the Nibiru token pretty easily, and it also outplays your opponents if they misplace their monsters. So that's why like Anima is like really really good. And then you play 3 Vampire Sucker in the situation where you have a Golden Land and Eldritch and no other way to get to another Golden Land to summon this turn or another Eldritch to summon this turn. So what you would do is you would make Vampire Suckers just so they go to the graveyard so that they can float for you. And then Vampire Sucker is broken because you can draw 1 on your turn when you special summon from the grave, and on your opponent's turn you activate red, special summon another one, draw another one. So Vampire Sucker just becomes a +2, and the cards that you use to make it, like the Golden Land and the Eldritch, they just +2 more, so it becomes +4. So this deck is just like constantly plussing and out grinding you. Like I've gone Lightning Storm twice and still won just because they all float. So this deck is like absolutely insane. But guys, that's pretty much it for the end of the deck list. Or the deck profile. I'll show you guys some gameplay and some interactions you can do with this deck. But yeah, guys, also tune in into my Twitch if you're ever interested to watch me do like the technical plays regarding Eldlich and like things that you can do to improve. I'm also learning this deck myself, and some of you guys in the viewer chat are like just as good. So like I've been learning from you guys as well, so it's like a win-win for both of us. But yeah, overall, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.